Season 52, War number 9. Today we've matched up against Salty, and the bands are Count Nefaria, Luke Cage, Professor X, Silk, and Spider-Man 2099. And my team today is going to be Mr. Negative, Photon, and Infamous Iron Man once again. So, in the title or the thumbnail or something, I'm probably going to put like, this is the biggest war in AOH history. And that is true because we've never placed this high on the leaderboard before, because we're currently in 6th place, and we've never matched against an opponent as high as number 2, which is where Salty is right now before, except for one season where we matched SSX where they were number 2. So, yeah, this is a very big war, a lot's riding on this one, and I'm going to start on Path 5 today against this Wong. I've taken Path 5 Section 1 almost every war this season, and this one's no different. There's always like a Enchantress or a Negasonic on Node 14 that I need to take with my team. So yeah, that's why I'm like always on Path 5, but at least it's a path that I've gotten a lot of experience with because I have a pretty good idea of how to take these fights on this path now, especially this first one on Node 5. I've taken a Rintra, I believe, on this node, and a Man-Thing on this node. And basically, I just need to drop my SP3 with Ebb and Flow Heavy. Ideally, don't throw a Heavy into his miss, which I just didn't catch originally. But at that point, we just drop the SP3, we have the Fury, and then we're going to do a bunch of direct damage to this Wong, just like we do when we face Node 38, because I fight Node 38 with negative a lot too. And then I end up doing exactly enough burst damage to kill him. So 4 bursts of 59,000 damage, and that's going to finish off Wong. So next up, we're fighting Negasonic on Node 14. This is my second time fighting Negasonic on this node, and it somehow does not go as well as it did the first time. So, firstly, the game lags and it thinks I charge a heavy when I'm just spamming lights like normal. I never tried to charge a heavy, it just decided that I did. But anyway, at this point I just need to try to get Tactic up, and then I'm baiting her special real quick. She throws it, I'm going to go for the counter, and then it's going to place the shock I need to place the heal block. So, at this point, I want to drop an SP2 soon, but then I tried to like whiff a light attack to get her to block, I guess, and his light reach is so good that it reached all the way to her block, so she parried me. Like, that's what I was trying to do. You saw me whiff a light there, but his light reach is actually like the craziest light reach in the entire game. Like, it's so good. So I got parried, and then there I just eat a combo. I don't even know how. So I'm having a mild heart attack because I'm still deathless this season, and if I die to this freaking Negasonic, who I've constantly said isn't a defender whatsoever, I'm gonna lose my mind. But we're gonna finish the job. I just need Negasonic to throw the special, which he does take a bit of time doing, but there we go, she's dead now. So that was almost terrible. That's probably the most struggle I've ever had to a path fight this season, except for the first time taking Enchantress on that node. But luckily, we got the job done. So, next up, we're on Path 9. I got an Odin pre-fight from another Alliance member, and then we're going to take this Wiccan, starting on Node 27, which I've used Photon for Wiccan quite a few times this season, so I'm going to go with the same game plan, essentially, which is just parry heavy a couple times until he reaches 1 bar of power. The reason I want to use heavy attacks is because I want to get him to 1 bar while using as little hits as possible on my end. So parry heavies is the way to go. Give him a lot of power with little hits. So what we want him to be at 1 bar of power for is to counter the special attack as soon as possible, because when you counter a special attack from the defender, they can't gain their power charges for 7 seconds. So obviously Photon is not tactic, so she cannot control the ability power rate through a heal block, because she doesn't have access to the heal block. But what we can do to control the ability power rate is the Petrify when we place a debuff. and then just countering his specials constantly so he might never get the power gain. And also, if he does, we can't miss, so usually I run an invul boost versus non-tactic fights with Photon. I didn't run one here, specifically because I talked with my co-planner for this one, and we decided that I'd be okay to not use one, which would be good because I need 2 more later in this war, and I'm running low. And then we still have 3 wars left this season that I'm going to need invul boosts for, so I'm sure. So, yeah, I ran a greater special 3 defense boost and everything just to make up for it a little bit. With inequity, I also just probably wouldn't have taken a lot of damage from SP3, but whatever. Next up, we're fighting Magneto on node 36, so same thing as last time, except Power Focus 1 is not here, or Power Focus 2 is not here, and Power Focus 2 only helped us last fight, so it's a little annoying, but anyway, I'm just going to try to get some easy openings at the start of the fights by, yes, I'm going to take some one-eye open damage, but that's part of why I ran the combat regen boost, because I can heal back some of that. There I eat the special 1 because I'm bad. I just messed up my counter timing. So here I lost my pure light form, that's okay. And then I guess I'm just kind of scared at this point. Well, I can't drop my special 2. That's why I did, because of the power gain. I didn't even notice that. That's why I didn't drop the SP2. I was like, am I scared of, I don't know. Anyway, it was a good thing I didn't drop that SP2 because power gain. So, and yeah, pure light was gone, so it probably would have missed. At this point, I'm just trying to get back into my rhythm. I once again eat an SP1 from Magneto because I'm messing up this counter timing, and then he intercepts me. Luckily, inequity and Photon's energy resist just makes it to where she doesn't care, and then I just finish him off in a combo or 2, and then that's Magneto. So, yeah, path fights done. Those are my only Photon fights. Again, I didn't use an invul for them, even though they were tactic, and it worked out just fine. So, happy with that. Next up, we're fighting Sasquatch on node 38. Again, I'm going to speed this fight up because this is like my 6th time this season commentating over it. In summary, we basically just want to get to an SP3, try to trigger the tactic heal block as needed by doing evades intentionally. Just try to never evade when the debuff immunity is active, because I do want that slow from the Photon synergy. So all that being said, just try to have the heal block active and then drop SP3s with the Fury from Ebb and Flow. And then I use my SP3 to push him to an SP3, just simply eat it with an invul boost. Don't take damage, and then he's going to take a bunch of direct damage, which is increased by the fact that he is in Wrath and does not have any of his damage resistance from his stacks of, I think they're rage stacks or something. I genuinely don't remember what they're called. But here I notice I need to place some debuffs because the tactic is about to trigger a power gain again, and then I just do the same thing, heavy attack into special 3. This is going to come close to pushing him red, but actually not that close. Okay, so yeah, there we go. Solo the fight again. That's the more important part. Anyway, next up we're fighting Werewolf By Night on node 43 with iDoom. iDoom isn't the best counter here, but we've sent onslaughts, we've sent ghosts, and we just haven't found a consistent soloable option. So we decided to try my iDoom, and I was pretty confident going into it. One thing I do want to mention about this fight, though, is that, in theory, iDoom's SP3 rotation might sound good, because if you don't know what his SP3 rotation does, you basically get a very long special lock that obviously won't let Wolf throw any specials. So I could do that. The reason I'm not going to do that is because what the special lock would do is constantly keep Werewolf above 2 bars of power. And what happens when Werewolf is above 2 bars of power is that if he decides to howl, he's going to go unstoppable and unblockable. I just don't want to deal with that. So we're just going to spam SP2s and play it normally. And then if he doesn't throw a bunch of special attacks, then I don't have a bunch of openings that don't include me parrying. And I don't want to parry a lot because of the ruptures reducing my ability accuracy. There I got lucky. I don't know, I just messed up. But yeah, so it just makes it a little bit more difficult dealing with the Unstoppable if you special lock him like that, so the game plan was just going to go for SP2s, and it ended up working out, so there we go. Last fight of the war, Enchantress on node 50, the boss node, and this is my 7th Enchantress of the season. I take an 8th one in War 10. I still haven't commentated over that one yet, but yeah, I'm at 8 Enchantresses this season on 4 different nodes. This is the 4th one. I've fought her on 14, 41, 49, and yeah, now 50. And going into this, I was definitely nervous because the way this fight can go really wrong is if she starts damage reflecting you while you have the degens active. Because that's gonna hurt, obviously. It wouldn't just hurt, it would literally kill me. So, we drop an invul, and the reason for that is because we want to push Enchantress to an SP3 and just eat it like we do against the Sasquatch. Because the SP3 doesn't do anything negative for me. The only thing that it can do that would harm me is, again, if she has spells when she throws it and then damage reflects me. So if I just push her red while she has no spells, there's no downside. And you saw me there dance around while I was at 15 charges. 14 charges. Well, Enchantress at 14 charges. Because I wanted to make sure to time my power gain for when I'm dropping the SP2. Because I need that SP2 of mine to push her to 3 bars, eat the special 3, and now I have a charm debuff on me. And then the power gain is gone, and I'm just going to let the degens tick. Don't give her any chance to get an SP1 active to get those spells back. And I mess up, I lose my invul there, but she's so close to being dead now that I can probably finish the fight without even having to push her red. She is power gaining here, and she has spells active, but I'm going to only hit her a little bit, so the damage reflect isn't going to be bad. You saw there, it wasn't bad at all. So now I have some spells to remove. Gonna go for the removal of the heavy attack first, then go for an intercept. Don't get it. I keep trying. I'm just doing stupid stuff. That was never gonna work. So now I take damage reflect. Not too much damage. So again, go back into the process of baiting a heavy attack, and then I want to intercept, and then I'll use my SP2 to knock her down, and then the fight's over. So yeah, there goes Transmutation, there goes Evocation, and then finally we're going to remove Enchantment, and then she just degens to death. So there we go. Enchantress boss solo, my 2nd boss of the season with negative, and it went very, very well, and just like that, I'm still deathless on this season. 3 wars left, and then if I can execute it right, my first deathless season ever, which would be huge for me. We did lose the war. It was actually really close, like, during the first 75 fights. And then Salty, their last 75, like, they didn't die once. So, GG's to them. They played very well. We also played very well. We have 11 deaths, which is our lowest on the season, but should have been even lower because 4 of those deaths came to a bad assignment that none of us officers caught on. So it was a very costly mistake, but at least it wasn't the reason we lost the war, just those fights alone. So, yeah, it was just a messed up assignment. And then, yeah, it calls us to give up 3 attack bonus and 4 deaths. But it's okay. We didn't expect to win this one, but we were always going to play our hardest. So we do fall to, I believe, 10th place, which is still top 10, so I'll take it. One other thing I'd like to say before the video ends is that my battle group, BG2, which we call Oster, was deathless this war. We went 50-0 in our battle group. The first time Oster has gone deathless since, I believe, like the very first war of last season, so it's been quite a while. I'm very proud of us for giving a deathless war on a war that mattered the most in a very long time. So GG's to Oster and GG's to Salty. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.